Welcome to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters, where we guide the next generation to Christ through the outdoors. Join us around the campfire as we share stories of faith, courage, and adventure. All right, for all of you that are out there watching in CTO Nation, I've got another treat for you. I know I say this every single podcast, but I think every single podcast really is a treat. I have got the entire Cain family. Oh, that's right. We're missing the one. Did you say feral daughter? It's what Mom said. Just, anybody listening, don't somebody saying, why is Kirk calling a child a feral child? Mama said that, and if Kelsey says that, then it's okay. So I got Chris and Kelsey Cain and their entire family minus one daughter that's not with us here tonight, here to tell you their CTO story. And, you know, one of my favorite things about CTO and this podcast is hearing the stories. So each one of the boys and girl is going to share their I was story, maybe a campfire story, their favorite hunting story, fishing story, or their favorite God moment of how God touched their life or something they've seen in CTO. But my prayer for everybody out there listening right now is that you hear the Cain's heart. We just finished Sportsman's Night because they're our Northside Chapter's leader. I know Mark's not here tonight, but Mark helps as well. And we just did an awesome Sportsman's Night, had an amazing devotion, and did an amazing time shooting crossbows and bows. And the boys competed against each other. I think the girls won. The girls that were here
definitely
outshot all the boys for the most part. But that's pretty normal in the archery world. That's what I always see. So we had this awesome night. I just thought we would spend a few moments to allow you guys to hear their campfire time and how God brought them to CTO. Because, Chris, you guys have been in since 2000, you decided 18 or 19?
2019.
2019.
Spring, yeah.
Kelsey said 19, you said 18, so we go with Kelsey.
Yep.
We always go with the lady, usually. So they want to tell their story, one kind of how they got started, how you guys got started with CTO. And, I know God had to start working on you because something I always tell everybody, anytime I visit with somebody about Cross Trail Outfitters, everybody loves it, right? They go, oh, that sounds so cool. That sounds so exciting. Oh, I'd love to be a part of that. But it's a calling, right? Specifically to be an outfitter and to be a chapter leader. And in many cases, it takes the whole family. And what 100%. What I love about the Cain family is that, look, we're sitting around here and they got a lot, if you haven't noticed, okay? And we're missing one. But they're always all involved all the time. And it's such a family unit. I just think that's really awesome. Now, all of our guys across the nation, their families are all involved, but they're all involved in different ways. And everybody's very supportive. But for you guys, kind of get us started, Chris. Tell us how you got started, kind of how you found out about CTO, and when that first moment was when God was starting to call you. Because that's a big deal, and help our audience kind of understand it. It's a calling, because you guys could be doing a lot of different things.
Definitely.
You guys do a lot of different things. But you could be doing a lot of other things, and you choose Cross Trail Outfitters to do that. So get us started.
Yep. So in the spring of 2019, our oldest boys were getting to the point where we were wanting to get them into the outdoors more than I had been. I grew up hunting, fishing, trapping, pretty much everything in the outdoors. And it's something that I wanted to pass on to my kids. And hunting public land was super tough in this area. I moved from Kansas, where I could go like a 30-mile radius of home and knew everybody, could do anything I wanted to. Yeah. And didn't realize that I lost all that until things got hard and tough down here to find someone that would allow access to their land. So when I first started looking for something for our kids, outside of taking them myself, I started looking in the Springfield area and fell across Cross Trail Outfitters online.
Okay. Online? I don't think I even knew that.
And I'll admit, at that time, I was just strictly looking for somewhere for my kids to get plugged in hunting. I saw what CTO had on their webpage, but I didn't really know what it was really about and what it offered. And it's a one-stop shop. You're getting your kids in a great environment with other kids. They're working on growing themselves in their walk of faith. And obviously the draw for them is the hunting and the outdoors. It can be. Some of them, it's the campfire time and devotional is where their heart is set. But I came alongside Jack early on. Our first outing we did was a trout fishing outing.
Where was that at?
That was, I don't remember the location. I remember it was at a hatchery out towards Lebanon.
Oh, Bennett Springs?
It was Bennett Springs, yeah.
Okay, I think I remember that now.
It was super wet, rainy. We didn't end up with the success we were looking for, but the success came in other ways. I mean, the kids, it didn't matter that they weren't having the best sunny great day. They were sliding down the we had a super steep hill there that day. They were sliding down it in their jeans and shirts, just
in the mud,
just having the times of their lives. It just awesome. Early on, I saw his passion and what he was doing with the kids, and knew it was something that I wanted to be a part of, and I wanted my kids to be involved with it. For several years now, I was alongside Jack, kind of being his right-hand man, and there came a time where he was going to be moving up to be state director of Missouri, and he asked me if I'd be willing to take over the Springfield chapter at that time, which we've since now renamed Northside because we combined chapters. And it's just all along that there's so much story to tell, but it was just awesome. Jack had a lot that he was doing for us that he didn't even recognize he was doing, and then growing me into a place of being willing to take over a chapter and do that. I'll admit, when he asked me, it took me a better part of several weeks or a month to answer him. I didn't come right back to him, and I don't know if that made him sweat bullets or not, but
I think I remember Jack and I having that conversation. I'm asking, but he's not talking.
Is this guy going to pull the trigger or not? And I was in a tough place with my job and other things in life where I was trying to make other changes, and was trying to figure out where God wanted me to be. And I'm glad that this is where I ended up, because the other aspect of CTO is, like Kirk was saying with the family, is our whole family is involved in the outdoors. The chapter, as far as sportsman's nights, anything, any moving piece of it, they're all involved. It's not something that takes me away from my family. I mean, it does to some extent, obviously, but my family is all involved in it. It's not separating us from each other. We're all here at the sportsman's night. Kelsey's helped me with getting outings put online and doing a lot of the footwork with communications, because it's not my expertise. I'm not good with that. Now, you get me person to person, I could sit here all night and talk to you, and she would be like, "Come on, let's go."
Jennifer does that to me too.
the Facebook and all the other outreach stuff, that's not my forte. So,
did you have a defining moment when you were praying? And I'm sure you and Kelsey had a lot of conversations in prayer about, like, what made you decide to go ahead and pull the trigger to say, I'm going to be an outfitter for Cross Trail Outfitters? You remember that moment? And she might.
I would say that moment was probably when I went on my first outing with Jack down in Mountain View.
Okay.
We put a lot of, I did help a lot, but Jack did a lot of the hands and feet with him and John Abbey. Getting a Connex put in down there. We put in all the utilities, all the hands and feet of making that property go from just somewhere we went and hunted to actually being an established camp. We have somewhere warm and dry to stay, running water, facilities. It was just, I saw the potential in it, and I just, when he asked me to take it over, to see what someone has spent so many years. I mean, I know Jack took over the chapter when you, asked him to. For someone to be able to willing to take all those man hours and all those, I know none of us are selfish enough to say I did this, but to take something that you've put that much time and effort in and sweat, and be like, I'm willing to hand that over to you because I see the potential in you to be able to take this and, you know, move up with it rather than see it dwindle. That meant a lot when he came to me and asked that. But at the time, I just wasn't 100% if I was worthy of of that, or if I had what it took. But
so were you kind of questioning yourself, like who you were, like, can I do this? Because I know you do a lot of other things too.
Right. Well, I mean, for the length of time that I've been involved with it with Jack, it was, you know, I had seen how much it had progressed in just that time, and seeing something, you know, he was involved with school programs and lots of different things in the community, looking at the aspect of how much time I had to be able to pour into it, and seeing what you and him had built it up to, and at least in my own eyes was seeing like kind of a standard, you know, like I was getting in my own head, but I got into it and I was like, man, I don't want to get in there and just fall on my face and feel like I let anybody down.
Yeah.
But it was an honor. Like when he asked me that, I would say that was my moment of like, I was just like, I wasn't all in at that moment, but once I, you know. Well,
it was like you said, I like the word honor. It was an honor for him to ask you to do that, and that is a big deal
definitely
for he has put a lot and had put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that, and just being somebody who's done that several times in CTO, it's not easy, but once you release that and you hand that to that person, and you move on to your next calling, it's amazing to watch what God does. So
definitely.
Kelsey, you're over there nodding a lot. I can see outside. You're a nodder. You're like, did you have a defining moment, like, or did you think another thing? Because I mean, you're right. I mean, you homeschool and you're running around. Yeah, it's coming to you, girl. And you're running around doing all this other stuff. And I know you guys are involved in other organizations and church and homeschool stuff and all of the co-op stuff. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I just know from watching. And then if those out listening, if we probably should have done this at your house, because you're like, no way, right? Because when I come to your house, I've talked about you guys a lot before. When I come to your house, it's like, I'm trying to think, it's like a scene out of like.
It's the Herdmans, if you've seen the greatest Christmas pageant ever.
I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking more like Little House on the Prairie. You do everything. From your garden is amazing, and I know it is a group project, family project. This man can do anything. I envy him so much, and these kids can do anything, and they know how to do so much. And you do from canning to the cooking to the, I mean, it's like that whole from field to table type thing, all the way from your cattle to your hogs to harvesting them right there to hanging them in the shed and to doing all those things. To me, it's just like, wow, that's like, Jennifer always tells me that I've been born about 50, 60 years too late, because that was kind of my world. So anyway, you guys are a phenomenal family with what you do and what you teach your kids, but more than anything, you're raising them up to love the Lord first of all. And so I commend you for that, because I don't want to get these kids a big head, because they all are a little feral, a little bit, as you call them. But they are awesome kids, and they love the Lord, and they love the outdoors. So, well, Kelsey, when was your defining moment? Like, were you on board just right off the bat?
I think I was more than he was.
Oh, okay.
Because he was already all in.
Okay.
Because when he was 9 and he was 7 when they went on their first outing, and I wasn't going to send my baby boys without him. So he went, and then he loved it. And they obviously loved it. And he was right there with Jack at all the outings they could be on. So when Jack asked him if he wanted to lead it, I said to him something like, I don't know why you don't say yes. You've helped and you pour all your sweat into it. Do you want to watch someone else take over?
Yeah.
Do you want to help someone else with it, or just do it yourself? So you're already doing it.
So you're like, nothing's changing in your mind.
Nothing was changing in my mind. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome.
Because if he does something, he's all in.
Yeah, I've noticed that about him.
So he was all in the first time he took them hunting.
That's cool. Did what and obviously you already saw, were you seeing things at home when they would come on an outing and they come back home? I mean, I know you guys raised good kids, so were you seeing changes even in your own kids' life by coming on an outing and seeing the things that they're learning, or their excitement, or maybe their growth in the Lord, that type of thing?
Yeah, they were coming home just high on a cloud, after outings. Camden can be down on himself, but after outings, he's chipper and happy, especially after camps. Because it's different when he gets to go on outings with other men. He's always with his dad.
Yeah.
They like to be with the other guides and the other.
Yeah.
I always thought it was important when Chris would send his kids with other guides in a tree stand or in the blind.
Yeah.
Because some of the men like to hunt with their sons and be there when they harvest their deer, but they need poured into by other men.
And that's actually a very important thing that you do that. I've watched that. Been in CTO now almost 17 years, and I've watched a lot of dads come and be involved, which is awesome. We want that with their son. And I love when I see that dad still involved, but allowing that time with another man to allow another man to seed into their son, because that does play a role. And that's hard for a lot of men, because then you kind of feel like somebody's going to replace you, or my son's going to think he's kind of cooler than me. And there is a stage and age, kind of at the age they're kind of at, that they might kind of feel that at times, but ultimately it's not. It just feels like that. Because I can remember when my daughters started being around other people, and they started thinking other people are cooler than me or cooler than mom, and that's hard, but it is important for others to seed into our kids.
And then they're comfortable with someone like you or Jack or some of the younger men that maybe they like more, and they're comfortable to go with them and talk to them if they need to, where they might not want to talk to their dad.
Yeah. Is there do you have a favorite moment whenever, like you can think of, I know there's lots of moments because you guys have been involved with camps and outings and sportsman's nights and lots of different things, to where you saw the growth in your whole family, or maybe even in Chris? Do you see that, or what was one of your favorite? It doesn't have to be a moment. Let's say it's a favorite thing that you have witnessed or watched that you see. Maybe it's growth in them just by being involved, just by serving, or whatever it may be.
There's lots, but probably the favorite is this summer. I went. He was at Young Bucks camp, and he was helping, and Cooper was a camper.
Okay.
And I didn't know Cooper was going to get baptized, because I didn't expect he would want to this year. And I was at Grand Lake in Oklahoma, and Chris called me at like 11 p.m. to tell me Cooper was being baptized the next day. So of course I didn't want to miss it. So I got in the car and went to Table Rock Lake and got to witness that, and that was special. But then we were all waiting to leave the lake, and everybody gathers up and is talking and saying goodbye. And another little camper who was maybe 9 came over and was acting a little bit awkward next to Cam, and his mom was there. And she was like, "Do you want to ask him something?" Talking about Camden. He's like, "Can I get my picture taken with you?" Because that little boy thought Cam was just such a neat guy that he wanted his picture with Cam from camp. And, Cam was 9 when he went to his first camp.
Yeah, wow.
And now he's
an apprentice guide.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at that stage where he's an apprentice guide.
Yeah. So just to see, while he was still being poured into that week, he was pouring into that little boy.
Yeah. That's cool. For me personally, I've been asked this probably 1,000 times over the last 17 years. Like, do you have a favorite camp or a favorite thing? And I almost always, I never hesitate, Young Bucks camp. It's always been my favorite camp. And I used to kind of feel guilty, because when I was leading camps, for me, the camps were, I didn't have to do as much. And I always thought, is that why I like it? But it never was. It's because I had so many good apprentice guides, and I would assign a couple boys to one apprentice guide. And I've always brought the apprentice guides in a day or two early, and we did some discipleship with them on how to do that, and to watch them older boys freaking out. They were petrified of these 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids that are coming in, and watch them, but then watch that relationship develop, and watch that young boy like, "Oh, can I have your picture?" Because they just think they're so cool. And I've watched young boys cry because they're saying bye to in their mind, almost like a counselor, but it's their apprentice guide who has read the scriptures with them twice a day, sat at the campfires with them, took them on the hunting or the fishing trip, whatever it may be, and to see that transformation and that relationship with those young boys with the older ones, yeah, that's always been my favorite part. And to watch them freak out. And at the end of camp, I say, what's your favorite thing? And they always go, that has been, my favorite thing was I had no idea how God could use me, and what an impact an older boy can have, or an older kid can have on a younger kid. So that is powerful. That is exciting. That is cool. So, all right. I know it's like, man, it's getting dark quick here. If those of you who are watching, I know many people are always watching, just listening as they're driving down the road, but many are watching. We're at Camp Character here in Willard, Missouri. Tom McLean, Chief McLean, he's got this amazing place out here where he brings kids and does all kinds of cool stuff and teaches them awesome principles. And we're running out of daylight, so forgive us if it starts getting a little dark on us, but you can hear us, so we're going to keep rolling with everything. I'm just sitting there, man, I feel like it's getting dark like every minute that we talk. So, all right, well, I have asked each one of the kids, I hate to call you all kids, you're all kids, but you're not. Cam's like, I'm not a kid.
But you are.
But you are. I've asked each one of them to kind of tell us your There I Was story. And it can be a hunting story, it can be a campfire story, it can be a baptism story, a God story. It can be anything that God's laid on your heart. So, do we got any takers who wants to go first? All right, make sure you go ahead and introduce yourself because you're on camera. So tell everybody who you are. I mean, I know who you are, but
I'm Caroline, and so there I was in the blind with my dad, and when we got in, we turned on the heater, and I told my dad that he was gonna burn his pants, and then he fell asleep, and when he woke up, his pants were melted, and I told him, I was like, I told you so, and he was like, no. So then I fell asleep, and then he woke me up, and there was a deer in front of me, and so, yeah, I shot it.
Shot it? And that was your first deer? Mm-hmm. That's a pretty awesome story.
And if anyone goes on a winter outing with him, you'll see his pants with the melted spot.
It's still there?
My overalls.
Your overalls
Yep.
burnt? So we have burnt pants, first deer, awesome experience, and Chris sleeps on outings.
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to be guiding? I fall asleep. Anybody that's ever sat with me in a blind or a stand, if I'm in a stand, I need a harness because I relax, and it's just instantly things. I just become an instant puddle of mush because I just fall asleep. It's so relaxing. Well, that's an awesome story. I had never heard that story. How old were you when that happened?
Like 7,
Oh, wow. And how old are you now?
10.
10. So just 3 years ago. Oh, that's exciting. That's an awesome story. That's cool. All right, who's next?
I know.
All right, go ahead.
My name's Cash. My favorite story is probably when we were dove hunting, and there was probably 10 kids, and we all got out there, and for about 2 hours we shot at doves, and I think there was 4 doves shot, and we all went through at least a box and a half of shells.
Hundreds of shots and only 4 doves.
Yep.
That sounds about like dove hunting for the most part. Was that just recently, or was that
This is
several years ago?
several years ago.
Several years ago. That's awesome. Why was that your favorite? Why is that one of your favorite stories?
I don't know, it's just funny.
It's because it's just funny. Well, you're not the only one that,
fun.
the only group that shoots like that. That's pretty normal for the dove hunting world. I think it's normal for even adults when they do that. That's awesome. All right, who's next?
I can go.
All right.
Okay. Well, one of my favorite stories.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, well, I'm Camden, but one of my favorite moments I can remember is I can't even remember how old I was, but I believe Jack took me and Cash up to a fishing tournament, and we were going to help volunteer and weigh the fish and everything. And like on the way up there, Jack was just like, I mean, I was probably like 8 or 9. He asked me if I wanted to speak at this thing, and I was like, well, sure, I'll do it. And then I like freaked out all the way there. And then he waited until the very last moment, and I was like terrified. because there's hundreds of pro fishermen out there, and they're all gonna watch this speech. So I get up there, and it was almost like a weight came off my chest as soon as I started speaking. And I probably only talked for 5 minutes, but it was just a really amazing moment. I just talked about how I knew CTO would always have my back and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed that. But it's also kind of amazing that Jack trusted a 8 or 9 year old kid to get up on a stage in front of hundreds of people with a microphone and just let him have at it. So I didn't enjoy it so much at the time. I was terrified, but it's really fun to think about it now. It was.
But that shows you what he saw in you. And now, how old are you now?
I'm 14.
14.
I think that's the summer you were 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so even still, that he saw that in you, the maturity in you to be able to do that you could handle that, and that speaks volumes of something. That's one thing the outfitters and some of our top guides and volunteer guides, when they see that in a young man, that's what CTO does. We want to put you in a leadership role, and many people wouldn't allow that 12-year-old kid to go up there and say that in front of hundreds of fishermen. But allowing that to happen, it's very impactful, and you really couldn't have messed it up. But that means he saw something in you. Yeah. So that's cool. You got another one? Because you kind of said one of them. Was that just, I know you got a lot of them, but I'm sure.
Well, Mom kind of already spoke about it, but it was also really special because I got to help baptize Cooper this year at summer camp, so that's also a very memorable moment.
Yeah, I bet it was. I remember seeing that. That is pretty cool. To have the whole family there, and you did play a role in that because you were an apprentice guide at that camp with your younger brother there. That is extra special, and I know you know that, and that'll become even more special the older you get, and you look back and see that, and I know he will too the older he gets. That is special.
Yeah.
All right, it's down to you, Coopmeister.
My name's Cooper.
Speak real loud so we can hear you.
There I was shooting a deer.
All right, we're on a deer hunt. So where are you?
At John Abbey's.
Okay. All right, you're at Mountain View again.
You remember which blind we were in?
What's it called? Tree stand.
Tree stand.
Yeah.
All right. And tell us, was it a doe? Was it a buck?
It was a buck.
A buck.
A doe.
A doe. All right. And it was coming. You saw him coming, or saw her coming?
Yeah.
Or who saw it first? You or Dad?
Dad.
Dad did? Oh, good old dads. They had the good eyeballs. Were you nervous?
Yeah.
Did you do tic-tac-toe?
Yes.
Yeah. You drop her? All right. That's a good job. And that was your first one?
Yeah.
And when was that?
Last
Last year?
Last year.
Last year? And how old are you?
8.
8. You know when I shot my first deer? 12. My goodness, you beat me by 4 years. Because I know these Cain families, they are competitive. So so you beat me, just so you know. You can tell everybody. Kirk didn't shoot anything until he was 8. Man, I was hunting since I was 5. It took me 7 years before I ever shot my first deer. So that's awesome, buddy. That is good stuff. All right, well, come back up here. I'm gonna give it back to Chris. Chris, tell everybody. I know when you're a dad and you see this, and I appreciate you being honest when you said, I started this for another place, kind of take my kids hunting and fishing, but then you went and saw. You could see the life transformation that was happening in other kids and starting to happen in yours. Is it, how has your faith grown or changed in the last several years in your own leadership at home and just in CTO and as a whole? How has that changed for you? That's just something God just told me to ask you, so I didn't write that one down.
I'm still growing. And I know anybody that's openly honest about their faith should be able to say that. There's still places that I fall short and things that I need to do better. But CTO has allowed me to grow, going to the outings with Jack and then becoming my own outfitter, regardless of the position. Being being able to mentor to the kids and see them receive your message and have them reach out to you outside of CTO, and want to, them coming back to you, not just sitting at the campfire and hearing what you have to say,
Airplane go around us,
but also them coming to you like they would with their parents or someone they look up to and asking you questions, or like when we're at sportsman's nights, it's not just the interaction at campfire time and when we're doing the activity. Like, they want to come to you one-on-one and check in and see how you're doing, or be like, hey, yeah, I did this, or this is what I've been doing. That is the full circle for me, is just, you're making an impact on somebody when they care enough to come back to you and converse those things. So
that a lot of people, we don't talk probably enough about that in CTO, about how, because we talk about the baptisms and the campfires and the hunts and the fishing and all that kind of stuff, but we don't always talk about the in-between moments, that call from another kid or call from another parent that gets that they're like, hey, I need help, and if they're not plugged into a church, they really do kind of lean on the families and the outfitters and the spouses, when there is troubling times. And I think that's something that we always want to get everybody. If families aren't plugged into a God-fearing church, we're always trying to get them plugged into a God-fearing church. But if they're not, and they don't really have that support system in between all those moments, it is something that we do. And if the outfitter can't be there, we got volunteers that we can call, or, hey, Mark, I can't get here, but I just heard that John Doe just was in a car wreck or something like that. Hey, we need to get the prayer chain going, and I can't get to the hospital, or I can't go visit with the family. Could you? Or, and if they can't, there's another person that could. And that's something that we do in CTO. It's not just hunting and fishing. It is the in-between moments, because that's part of where the discipleship is. And it's also where showing the love of Christ with the other families that are that we minister to. And you guys have been in now for almost 6 years, basically. And you're going to start seeing where these kids start getting older and older and older. And then you're going to end up getting invited to weddings. And in my case, I've officiated a lot of weddings of kids. And even, like I was just sharing earlier, I'm going to California in a couple of weeks, and I'm marrying a CTO's boy's sister. And we've been mentoring her and her fiance, and they didn't grow up in CTO, wasn't involved in CTO, but just from the outside looking in, the relationship with that family, and she asked me to do that. That's that in between moments that you already are seeing, but you'll see as they get older. And there's been many times where I've always thought, man, I didn't really think I had an impact in that kid's life or something like that. And then maybe they came to one camp, one outing, and then they moved, or they just kind of vanished and they just didn't want to be a part of it. And you're going to get that call someday where they're like, hey, do you remember when we did this? And he just wants you to know that God used you to change my life. And the same thing with you guys, as being on outings and at camps. As you all grow, especially Cam, the older you get, and they're all going to get older and become apprentice guides, you're going to see that too. Those young boys that wanted your picture, they're going to remember that moment for the rest of their life. And whether they see you again, now obviously CTO, we're not a one-time Photoshop type thing. We're a discipleship ministry, so it's ongoing. But we'd be lying if we didn't say there's some that kind of come and go, and we don't see them, and we try, and they kind of run for a variety of reasons. But we never know the impact we're going to make, and sometimes until later. So you'll start seeing that, and it's a powerful thing when that happens, because you are making a true impact in kids' life. And it's fun to watch the whole family be involved. Just like tonight, Sportsman's Night, you had a bunch of kids here, and they're all involved, and all of your kids are involved with them, and you see all these intermingling and friendships of things, and all of them being involved in the families and the parents and grandparents and that type of stuff being involved. It's exciting to watch that happen. So, and it's been exciting to watch you guys too, because like you said, stepping in, filling Jack's shoes, as the Springfield outfitter and taking over that. Now the Northside Chapter, but taking that over and filling Jack's shoes. It's big shoes to fill, and I understand that, and you've done well. And I know having the support of your wife is amazing too, how they're all involved. I think that every family's involved, but with watching you guys do that, it's a powerful, it's a testament to me of how your family is and how you're raising your family.
Thank you.
And I know you all love the Lord, and it's exciting to watch. So, pretty cool stuff. Well, guys, do you guys got anything? It's just God's laying on your heart, just like I got to tell this story? No. Because you're like, man, we're sitting here in the dark. What you can't see is Jen's sitting there with her cell phone. This is why we said we like things to be organic. Okay, is the cell phone organic? We're just going with the punches of how long ever it goes, so it's exciting. So, well, guys, I appreciate you all being willing to speak. I know that's not in your comfort wheelhouse, probably a lot. You've been excited about this since day one, you said, right?
Yeah.
Being facetious, but he said, I don't even know what that means, but it means you really weren't wanting it to be that way. Got coyotes howling in the background.
Yeah.
That's telling us time to go. Either that or we need to go hunting.
They're right there.
How about that?
We're surrounded.
I like that. Get the crossbows out. No?
Oh my gosh.
Now that's
Did you have this kind of experience in Alaska? Not
no,
quite with the
not
wolves, nothing? No.
That's
They're,
awesome.
they're really close.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully you all can hear this. This is great. This is what I get excited about. We should be going doing some hunting, right? All right. Well, for those of you who are listening and have been hanging with us during this whole time, coyotes and all, appreciate the Cain family. Love you all. You guys did a fantastic job. And until next time, I'll see all of you that have been listening. I'll see you around the campfire with Cross Trail Outfitters and Wild Pursuits. Thank you for listening to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters. CTO is a hunting and fishing club with the mission of guiding the next generation to Christ through the outdoors. If you'd like to support us or are interested in getting involved, visit us on our website at teamcto.org. Links are in the description. Make sure to like and share our podcast. And join us next time around the campfire with Wild Pursuits.